Hello everyone, and welcome to Automation Fair 2024 from beautiful Anaheim, California. My name is Shannon McKay, and I am with our Lifecycle Services segment within Rockwell Automation. I'm leading the integration work with Verve. Verve was an acquisition that Rockwell Automation made about a year ago, in fact, is an OT cybersecurity platform which helps our customers identify and manage their risk and vulnerabilities across their manufacturing environment. So welcome. I'm joined today by Ryan Zahn, who joins me from Verve. Ryan leads the technical account management function within Verve, as well as customer success, and really helps our drive customer adoption and value realization with the Verve customers. So welcome, Ryan.
Great to be here. Excited.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about enhancing cybersecurity practices using precision risk modeling. And so I'm going to start with a really generic question for you, Ryan, but having been a part of this organization for 12 years and working in the OT space for so long, I think you're especially ready to answer this, is what is OT risk modeling?
Sure. So OT risk modeling is the discovery, prioritization, and remediation of those particular risks that you find, right? So when we look at asset inventory and vulnerability data, et cetera, what we really want to do is try to provide some context to that data to really help prioritize those particular things and issues that you find in your environments.
So with respect to Verve and Verve's methodology, how does Verve go about this in terms of calculating risk scores and risk modeling, and how does that impact the customers?
Sure. So in our tool, and really the way you look at risk, there's really three key pieces of information that you need to start that risk modeling process. So the first is impact, right? We need to know how impactful an asset is to our process. We also need to know the likelihood, right? So trying to do some likelihood analysis of our environments to say how likely is it that an attack were to occur against this environment or these assets. And then finally is the threats, right? Looking at what threats we have, what missing countermeasures we have in those environments, and trying to quantify that data in some form or fashion. And then within the tool, we work with our customers to help develop that particular risk scoring algorithm that they need to utilize for real-time risk reduction.
Yeah, that's good, and it's incredibly powerful what Verve can do in terms of this space. Why is this so critical and important for our OT security practitioners?
Sure. Well, so what happens a lot of times is when we get a vulnerability report, right, or a risk report from some tools, you basically left with this value that says, hey, I've got 75,000 vulnerabilities. Okay, well that number is useless, right? It's not to say it's not bad or not good information, but there's no context, right? So that is one of the biggest struggles that we find, is that people get these large, ridiculous amount of vulnerability numbers and they're not really sure what to do or where to start. And so risk prioritization really helps them understand, where can I focus my time? Where do I get the best bang for the buck? Where am I most efficient for mitigating these particular risks that I have?
It's incredibly powerful. So as you go through the scoring and you come out with some prioritization, so what are some of the challenges that our customers face, organizations face with this risk management approach? How can they overcome them?
Well, so there's actually quite a few. The first one is just visibility in general, right? So when we talk about wanting to collect this type of information to help with risk prioritization, a lot of it really is that we're lacking visibility of these assets, right? We need to know that deep inventory. We need to understand how things are connected, how things work together as a system in OT. The other issue I run into a lot with our customers is none of them, everybody has a different idea of what is risk, right? I can ask a compliance group and they'll say, hey, my risk is this is what I care about. And then maybe we'll talk to the operations folks and they'll have a completely different idea of what they determine as risk. And so really it's just trying to get that alignment between business and operations, as well as making sure that we're putting in tools that allow us to see that visibility in real time.
That's really good. I'm going to go off script here a little bit.
Sure.
So with respect to this, these risk scorings and the capabilities, how does it apply to the regulatory environment and regulations that our customers might face?
Right. So whether you're in traditional compliance, regulatory compliance, where there's fines and specific requirements you have to go to, we're really just trying to abide by traditional security architectures or different layouts of different security that you can do. This risk is one of those things where we want to try to, when we're starting to prioritize that risk information, it allows us to really focus on where our environments that have the most impact from a compliance perspective, from maybe a fining area where we have a lot of risk for fines. It just allows us to to essentially help define that risk, help lower those compliance regulations, maybe even look for areas where we can make efficiencies, with that data.
Yeah, good, good. So we've talked a little bit about why this risk modeling is so critical. We've talked a little bit about how Verve does it, your experience, why it's so critical around regulatory environments. How does a customer get started here? How does one get started in this space?
Sure. So one, it's getting a tool in that has the visibility into your assets, that has that type of capability. It's also getting the different groups in your organizations to work together towards a common goal, right? And saying, hey, we need to really define, what is risk, because we're just chasing our tails on the amount of vulnerabilities we have. The other thing is, when we talk about risk and prioritization, it's a never, not to sound, that it's bad, but it's a never-ending cycle. It's something that you're constantly going to iterate through. And as you mature from a cyber perspective, you're going to start looking at different areas or take into account different pieces of information that are going to help you determine risk and prioritize risk.
Yeah, good, really good. Last serious question. Is there a mistake you've seen our customers make in this area, or any particular lessons learned that you would want to relay to our customers?
So for mistakes that I've seen, it's a lot of it is around implementation of tools. So sometimes they'll try to implement something that's going to help them get here, but there's some glaring component that they didn't particularly take an account for configuration. The other really common things we see are sometimes lack of resources, lack of knowledgeable resources that really understand the security side of OT, and all that kind of piles on, right, to really have a bad deployment to where you're missing data that is useful for you from a risk perspective.
Yeah, good, really good. Okay. So my last bonus question, which has nothing to do with cybersecurity.
Right.
I know you're sticking around for the weekend. What are you most looking forward to at Disneyland with your kids, with your wife and kids?
Yeah. So Disneyland, well, it's our first time, so never actually been myself, and so my kids are excited to go. Really, my kids are really excited for is actually to go to Mario World and Universal. They wait to go to that.
Okay.
So it'll be exciting. A little fun weekend for the family.
All right, very good, very good. Well, thank you, Ryan. Thanks very much. It was a good discussion for the folks watching, hopefully around the world here. Some really good conversation around what is OT risk modeling, why is it so critical. Verve has been a part of the Rockwell Automation family for just over a year now, and we're incredibly excited, more excited today than we were a year ago about our capabilities together. So if you're in Anaheim at the show, please come see us at the Cybersecurity Operations Center booth. But otherwise, have a great show and a great weekend. Thanks very much.